Hello everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Today we're going to be showing you guys BEAMNG, how to get the game to run good, how to get the game to look good, and how to customize this game for your best enjoyable experience and have better performance on every single map in the game. So the first things first, alright, I'm going to stick away from the graphic settings for now. Those are the most simple thing to get over. And for now we're going to start with hitting F11. When you hit F11 on your keyboard, it should bring up what is called the world editor, and you're going to use WASD to move your camera around in the world editor. Now what we can do in here is heavily increase our performance by doing a couple different things, alright? So the first thing that we can do is we can actually go into something called Sun Sky. Alright, and if you go into Sun Sky, you can change a lot of visual things, which you guys are free to experiment with. They will make your game look awesome. But the other things we're looking for here that will actually make another difference on your performance levels is, for example, the flare scale on the sun. If you don't want to have a bunch of sun flare and everything like that, and none of that rendered in, let's change that to a 1. And if we continue to scroll down here, you can actually change the texture size of the shadows inside of this world editor, which will give you performance. You can change the shadow distance, which is how far you will see these shadows being rendered, and you can you can change the fade start distance as well. And if you do this stuff, it will increase your performance just a little bit. At the same time, you can completely disable shadows in here and do whatever else you want. And for a couple nice visual things, you can come in here, you can increase the sky brightness, you can turn down the sky brightness, you can change the sun scale color, right? This is where you can come in and you can start to customize your game and actually start to change a few things here that will also make your game look how you want it to look. So again, that's F11 to bring up the world editor. You have to find the scene tree and then go to sun and click on Sun Sky. Alright. So another thing that we can do for performance is, let's just type in water, and you can enable or disable water completely here. Okay, so that's one thing that we're going to look at. Another thing that you want to do inside of the world editor is type in level and look for something that represents level info. Alright, so for different maps it's different. Some will say the level info, some will say level info, some will say level underscore info, but typing in LEV should get you there for the most part on every map. Now another thing here is you'll notice that you have a visible distance. Alright, so let's say at default it's somewhere up near 5,000, and now you have a whole bunch more things that you can see in the map. You're rendering in things way further on. Let's go to 5,000. Sorry, 5,000's default, and then we're going to go back to 1,000, and let's go to like 500. Right, so you see that's taking away the ability to see far into the map, and when you're doing that, what that's doing is taking away the rendering of all the buildings and all the trees and all the light posts and so on and so forth. So that's another way to get a lot of performance out of BEAMNG. And the next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to show you things that are also kind of map specific, right? So here we're on Shotoko, right? And on Shotoko we need to know that there's going to be a lot of different lights and things like that, right? So you'll see if I go to nighttime right now, I have it so my lights aren't actually visible. And for some reason at nighttime I'm just lagging a bit here. I don't know what's going on with the lag. Not really too sure what's going on there. Hopefully that'll just kind of fix itself. Let's get out of the world editor and see if we're good. Alright, we're good, so we're going to go back into the world editor. And let's take a look at something that is specific to the maps now, right? So if I start to look at lights here, and I start to take all of this stuff, you'll see that now we have all of our lights, all the lights are working and everything, right? So these are map specific, and usually when you're looking for lights, what I like to do is I like to turn all of my lights off and look for anything that has to do anything with light, and anything for street lights and whatnot I will take off. And anything that doesn't say that is usually going to be attached to something. So if you see all of these point lights, you don't have to go through and click them all. They are attached to this folder above called tunnel lights. And if you uncheck that there and then check that there, you can see that that's how you get them all to be disabled. So never go through here and disable lights one by one. Scroll up to that light section and go to the very top and close the attached folder. You'll save yourself a whole bunch of time. All this is doing for me is going to make it so in the daytime and at nighttime I can adjust my graphical settings for better performance and not worry about a bajillion lights in the game rendering things while I'm doing this. So let's just go back to daytime here real quick. Alright, so now we're back at daytime. And my FPS for me isn't going to increase a whole bunch right now, just because I've already done a bunch of things and I've gone through everything that I've needed to go through. Now what you're looking at here is after you go through the world editor and you do some of that stuff and you're starting to get some better performance, it's a good time now to go into your graphic settings, right? Now is the time to go into your graphic settings and just start to lower things. You know, maybe you don't want ambient occlusion, you don't need bloom, you're going to turn off some depth of field. I have to ban somebody in the Discord real quick for spamming. Just give me one quick sec, boys. You might have heard that in the background. And we got another 18 plus TikTok leak spammer to ban. Alright, bro, you're out of here. See you later. Alright, back to BEAMNG. So now is the time when you come into the graphics and you sit here and you start to put things on lower, right? Maybe you just go normal on everything now, and now you just want to enjoy the game a little bit, and you're going to see the difference of FPS that you get now opposed to what you had before. Like now I'm hitting up to 300, you know what I'm saying? 300. I'll spawn in some traffic cars, I'll see if the traffic spawns in front of me. But if I'm playing on settings like these, I can sit here and my new max with traffic is my old max without traffic, right? So depending on your system and everything that you have, you might get 2 times your FPS, you might get 3 times, you might get 4 times, you might just get way more FPS than you think that you are going to get out of BEAMNG, just like a Seto. Alright, so another thing that we're going to go over here is your traffic. Alright, nobody likes it when you spawn in traffic and you're lagging really bad with traffic. Now I got 9 traffic cars that have been driving by, and you know, we're chilling, right? So if you are using traffic, I recommend using just the same amount of traffic as your processor has cores, right? So if you have a 4-core processor, use 4 traffic cars. You know what I'm saying? You got a 6-core, use 6. 8-core, use 8. It's a nice starting guide. Alright, so do that. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that we have use smart selection of vehicles enabled, and that we have use vehicle pooling disabled. Alright, so use smart selection of vehicles enable, vehicle pooling disable. If you really want to help the CPU a little bit, which I don't like to doing because BEAMNG is partially all about crashing, you can simply change to simplified collision physics. Alright, now another huge thing for BEAMNG that people just straight up will not tell you about, that are making YouTube videos and stuff like that have no idea about the performance impact this is causing you, is if you just start to crank your field of view up and you want to go to like 95 field of view and you want to sit way back in the car and you want to make it look like you're going super fast, this is going to decrease your FPS no matter what. because as you increase the field of view, you are having more on your screen being rendered. Images are being stretched, shrunken, rendered more, and it's bad for your performance. Almost every single game that you play, you will see in all modern games, almost any modern game that has the option, it will tell you increasing your FOV may drastically reduce your performance. Alright, so this is your guide for BeamNG. Decrease your FOV a little bit, decrease the graphic settings a little bit, use the world editor and everything that I just showed you to lose some of the details in the world. And then the final thing that we're going to go through here is, let's just say, for example, and hopefully it works on this map, is we come down here and we look at all of these trees. Alright, let's look at all of these trees and everything on this map that's rendered in that we're never actually going to go down to unless we have a really bad car accident or we're just messing around. This is where you open up, I believe, the forest tools, and then you go to erase selected, turn up the brush size, see if we get a brush anywhere on the map. And it doesn't seem to be working here. Hold on one sec here. Erase maybe? Yeah, there we go. So you want to hit erase. And if you turn up the density, it will increase what is erased inside of the red ring. And I'll show you an example. Here's one density with a big ring. It's not really deleting anything. It might not delete anything because this might not be forest. But let's increase the density, and it's still not doing anything there. So let's find a tree or something that actually will get deleted with this ring. Maybe it's going to be one of these. Okay, so nothing here is going to get deleted. So let's go quickly to US West, which is the map that people have a lot of problems with anyways. And I'll load that in and show you guys how to use that world editor to delete things on the map real quick. So let's just spawn right back in here. Just wait a quick sec. This map boots up way faster than the other one. And once we're in here again, it's going to be F11 for the world editor. Don't mind the graphics on US West. I don't know if they're going to be good or bad. This could be a jump scare. But we're going to load in the world editor. Again, that's F11. Once we get into the map. So let's open that up. And now I'll show you how on a normal BeamNG map like US West, which, you know, is really bad for all this stuff, we can go to the same thing, forest tools, and we'll hit erase. And now, in theory, what will happen is when we have 11 density and surround a couple trees, it's not going to delete everything in the ring. See that? It just deleted that one tiny little one in the middle. It was barely able to be seen. But if we increase the density to 100, it is now going to easily delete everything inside of that circle. See that? So that's all you need to do. And after you spend some time on maps doing all of this stuff, make sure that at the end of everything, you hit save level. If you don't hit save level, all of your changes will not work and you will not be a happy person. Another thing that is fun with this stuff is if you start to delete trees from different areas around the map, you'll actually unlock little spots where you can kind of have fun. Maybe you want to hit some jumps, go through some back alleys of houses and stuff here without any trees in your way. You know, you can delete that stuff and you can have a nice free pathway if you want to without any real risk. Just a nice little well taken care of back alley. All of these homeowners didn't want anybody to get hurt back there, so they took care of all the trees, and now you have a nice roadway in a back alley. And at the same time, if you wanted to, you could make that red circle absolutely massive and just take out whatever the game says it's going to take out. And now we don't have anything here, and all of these guys just got nuked, and we're getting better performance. You feel me? That's it. That's all you gotta do for BeamNG. And when you go through all of that, you spend your time, you spend the effort, you're gonna have a better running game. Regardless of your system, it's gonna run better. It might not run as well as mine, but it will always run better than what you started with. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. Stay gaming.